So there's a lot of different match types. There's a lot of different ways that you can advertise on keywords, right? And we'll talk about 5 of them here. First is broad match. That allows your ads to show for search on similar phrases and relevant variations. So if I type in shoes for a broad match, that could be shoes, that could be sneakers, that could be sandals, that could be Nikes, that could be Reeboks, that could be blue Reeboks, right? It's basically anything that Google says or Google thinks is relevant to that phrase. There's broad match modifier, which allows your ad to show for searches that include your broad match keyword or close variations of your broad match keyword. That's essentially broad match, but much tighter, much more consolidated in that family of keywords. There's phrase match, which allows your ad to be shown for searches that include the exact phrase or close variations and any additional words before or after, right? So if I advertise on blue shoes as a phrase match, what would also be included is cool blue shoes for sale, awesome blue shoes for sale, right? Any query that has blue shoes in it with keywords both before and after. Exact match, that allows your ad to be shown only for searches that use that exact phrase or close variations, maybe a pluralization, right? Adding an S or something like that. But that's almost exactly that keyword and only that keyword. And then there's finally negative match, right? That ensures that your ad doesn't show for any search that includes that term. A really good example of this is free, right? And if you want to advertise for this phrase and all the variations of it, with the exception of anything that's free, with the word free, right? Or you can do a lot of different stuff there, but negative match essentially allows you to exclude particular keywords. Quick overview on match types.
Sarah designs hats and sells them on the Sarah's Hat Shop online store. Her AdWords campaigns are bringing people to her site, but she wants to do a better job attracting customers who actually make purchases. Sarah decides to use keyword match types to more closely control who's likely to see her ads and help her use her budget more effectively. With match types, Sarah can decide just how closely someone's search term needs to match her keyword before they're shown one of her ads. By default, every keyword is broad match. This means that Sarah's ads can show for online searches that match her keywords, but they also show for searches that are closely related to her keywords, like synonyms or common misspellings, and longer phrases that contain her keywords. When Sarah first started out, she wanted her ads to reach as many people as possible who might be interested in her hats. She used the broad match type for her keywords so that her ads could show for the widest possible audience. Because her keywords, like women's hats and sun hats, were broad match, Sarah's ads showed when people search for those exact terms, and they also showed when people search with phrases like buy ladies' hats and summer hats. With the phrase match option, Sarah can be a little more specific about who will see her ads. Phrase match is like broad match, except that it doesn't include synonyms or search terms that contain words in the middle of your keyword phrase. When Sarah creates a new line of yellow hats, she decides she wants to get more targeted with her keywords. By using the phrase match keyword yellow hat, she can reach customers who search for yellow hats and also for phrases like where to buy yellow hats and stylish yellow hats. But since phrase match doesn't allow for synonyms or additional words that break up the keyword, her ads won't show on searches for gold hats or yellow and fur hats. The exact match option is much more selective. With exact match, a person's search term must match your keyword almost exactly for your ad to show on the search results page. After using AdWords for a few months, Sarah has collected enough data in her account to determine which of her keywords are leading to the most sales. She looks at the AdWords search terms report for these keywords to see the actual search terms that people used. She identifies the search terms that lead to the most clicks and sales, and she adds them to her keyword list as exact match. This way, she's able to increase the chances that her ads will show to someone likely to make a purchase. She continues to use Broadmatch for some of her other keywords, however, to make sure she's still reaching a broad range of potential customers. Negative keywords ensure that your ads won't show to anyone searching for a certain phrase. Sarah doesn't sell baseball hats, so she added the word baseball as a negative keyword to all of her campaigns. This way, Sarah makes sure that she won't be paying for ad clicks from people who are looking for a product she doesn't sell. Using the right keyword matching options is an important way to ensure you're reaching the right audience, which can lead to more sales and a better return on your AdWords investment. For more ideas about how to make your business more successful with AdWords, visit the AdWords Help Center.
So, does that make sense? Start to understand that a little bit? You kind of get the idea. We don't need to go through the whole thing. The way Google always frames it is, okay, you're starting an AdWords campaign. Start with Broadmatch. Spend lots of money with Broadmatch, like link up your credit card, like we'll be sure to charge it as much as we can. And then over time, you can start to figure out what's converting and then start to focus only on those with phrase and exact match. Of course, like turns out that's also in Google's bottom line interest as well, right? So there's lots of different ways to do this. Broadmatch, you really only want to be using Broadmatch if you're starting a campaign, you really don't know where to start and you want to go big. I personally never use Broadmatch. I like to stick with exact and sometimes phrase. Broadmatch can also be scary as well. The first time I started doing AdWords campaigns, I was working at my agency in Singapore. We had a $20,000 budget for 3 or 4 weeks, and I spent $11,000 in 12 hours. And my boss called me the next day and was like, Tommy, what's going on here, right? I had accidentally selected Broadmatch. I advertised on a huge number of keywords with unlimited budget and burned through a lot of it. So you have to be very particular. If you want to watch out for this, you can still advertise on Broadmatch, but you shouldn't link up your credit card to it to spend freely. You can do deposits into AdWords, and when it gets depleted, it just stops. The UI is a little tricky to do, obviously, right? They try and make it harder for you to do, but if that's one way you want to get started, you may want to think about that. What's that? No, it was a garbage conversion rate. It sucked. It was my first week there. It was not good. Luckily, my boss was really cool, so it ended up being fine. But